Revelation 4155. From the 29th of October 1947. Disappointment of the people, improvement. Divine intervention. A great disappointment will be experienced by those people who hope for an improvement of the situation in life and do all kinds of work with the prospect of a better time. They believe they can reshape their lives through human hands and human will. They believe in an advancement in every respect. They carry out all work which amounts to provision for the long term. They are exceedingly hard-working in unimportant things, but they leave the most important thing unattended: to make provision for the life beyond. Their thoughts constantly revolve around earthly duties, earthly pleasures, earthly prosperity. But they are completely indifferent to spiritual life, and thus it is understandable that they strive away from God even though they talk about His name, for the world's charms are stronger and the world is part of the one who works against God and wants to displace Him. And since they concede more rights to God's adversary through their desire, what they desire will also be granted to them. Yet He will also take possession of their soul, and a release from His control requires a strength of will which earthly-minded people cannot muster. For these people the disappointment will be overwhelming if the earth is afflicted by divine will, if the natural disaster destroys all their hopes and places them into extremely meager living conditions which contradict all their plans and hopes. It will be a bitter time for all worldly-minded people which they can hardly bear, for now they realize the impossibility of a better way of life and are incapable of any constructive work. They grumble and complain and reject a Creator and Sustainer of all things, for they are unable to recognize God in this adversity which has occurred through the work of destruction. They will not accept a spiritual explanation of the coming time, for their worldly attitude deprives them of all ability to make a right assessment, and therefore they will be completely at a loss in the face of the newly created situation until God has mercy upon them and either takes them from earth or gives them a renewed opportunity to take note of His word in order to be able to change seriously, if they muster the will to do so. Nevertheless, it is the only possibility, for the inclination towards the world is too great to be discarded if God had not simultaneously combined this work of destruction with an action of help in order to give them the opportunity to detach themselves from matter. For this must first be overcome if the human being wants to be saved, if he wants to get to know his actual task on earth and strive to fulfill it. Divine intervention through nature is the last means of help to turn to spiritual striving in free will and to learn to overcome the earth with its charms. Amen.